What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason, we're the Table Monkeys, and we are here with a video to talk about the setup, mainly the ref's grip and the set grip. And we just had provincials, which means nationals is coming up. I've got a big match coming up with Mac arm wrestling. Mac is going to be set grip. There's a lot of tournaments that are set grip and a lot of super matches that are set grip. And then all the WAF stuff, all the nationals and provincials, all that stuff is going to be a ref's grip. So we want to talk about those two things mainly, but we also want to just touch on the setup in general, right?
Yeah. So obviously, before we get to the set grip or the ref's grip, there's that initial negotiation with your opponent.
Yeah.
Usually lasts about 30 to 45 seconds before the ref's had enough, and he'll put you in the set grip or the ref's grip, depending on the tournament.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm super dominant over my opponent and I can feel that immediately, I should be able to get a fair grip where I have enough and I'm controlling the match where he doesn't even know he's fucked. And then on the go, I easily get the win.
Yeah.
If my opponent is at my level or at least close to it, he can sense the danger and he'll continue to fight and play around until he feels like he can get the dominant grip, and if not, he's just going to keep fighting until we hit that timer and we go to the set grip or the ref's grip.
Yeah, so basically, in the very beginning, if you don't feel like you can dominate a grip and, like Alex said, manipulate it where you have control, so you're now being like, oh shit, I'm not comfortable. Basically, the minute you don't feel comfortable in that negotiation period, you should be thinking, we're going to a set grip or we're going to a ref's grip, whatever the league is. Like, I want the ref to control the grip because he's obviously doing something tricky that I don't like that's getting me to not be comfortable.
Exactly. Arm wrestlers hate a fair match.
Yeah.
Right? So if I don't feel like I can get an advantage in that initial setup,
Yeah.
I might as well try my luck in the set grip or the ref's grip.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why we really want to touch on this ref's grip and the set grip, because exactly that. Like, if you're not in control of the setup, before that, you should be thinking, I'm going to a set grip. Like, if you're trying to be competitive, which is what this video is about, and what we're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
People we're trying to talk to now, right?
So most tournaments are going to be ref's grip, which
Yeah.
is the traditional method where the refs hold your hands, that they say they close your thumbs for you, they close your hands for you, and then they say go,
Yeah.
or ready, go.
And when comparing a ref's grip to a set grip, in reality, you can actually manipulate a ref's grip more than a set grip, which is kind of where the set grip came from. It was arm wrestlers being not liking how that would happen in a ref's grip and trying to come up with what they thought was the fairest grip possible. And in our opinion, and a lot of arm wrestlers that we've talked to, when it comes down to actually getting the fairest, where nobody's got an advantage and we're just at the most even grip, the set grip, I think, is better for that. But like Alex said, most tournaments and everything WAF, everything is ref's grip. So we want to talk about that first, so that you can understand, if you're being manipulated or how to manipulate the ref's grip a little bit, and just get you a little bit more prepared for that situation.
So let's go through a ref's grip and show you how that's done. Right. So you're going to get into your setup, and the ref is going to make sure you're in the right position, square your shoulders, and then you're not allowed to move from this position.
Yeah.
If you do move, it's a foul, it's a warning, or whatever.
Yeah, and there is some, I've heard some people kind of bitching about like body movement, but for the most part, basically it's hand movement, from what I understand from the reffing seminars that we've done and from what we've been taught. Like your body, your shoulders can't all move, but like if I move my foot or something like that happens, that's not really going to be, that shouldn't be called a foul. But if my hand moves, that's what a foul is, right?
So the ref will be, let's say he's over here, he's going to close the thumbs, and then he's going to close one person's hand first.
Yep.
Right, so let's say that's mine. I get closed, and then the opponent gets closed, and then he goes, ready, go.
Exactly.
And then the match starts.
Yeah, and before that, he's going to ask you if you want your thumb covered or not. So think about that a little bit. Think about what move you want and where you're going to be more comfortable. And then he's going to tell you who he's going to close first, and that is going to alternate every time he closes the hands, which is a very important part of the ref's grip that you should understand, and you should be aware of that as the pullers. So even letting the ref know, like, hey, I'm closing this time, right? I'm closing this time.
Yeah.
If Alex got closed last time.
And the reason is that in theory, there is an advantage to the person that gets their hand closed first, because they get that connection with their fingers. They can even like, get their cup engaged a little bit more, and then that puts pressure in the opponent's hand, so where now he's got a bit more blood in there, it's hard for him to then get his fingers wrapped around and gain some connection.
Yeah, I mean, if you arm wrestle, you know that arm wrestling is a game of millimeters, and just that advantage of being closed first, regardless of what pressure you want to apply, the point is that you are now the one leading the fight. Like, you're the one taking the first step, you're leading the direction of everything.
Yep.
Your opponent is reacting to you. So let's talk about, you're the one who, like in this situation where Alex closed first, we're gonna talk about what you should do from this position. Let's say you get into the tournament and the first person that you get up against is someone who you're worried about or you're not necessarily confident with, and you need to get to a ref script, and then you do get to the ref script, and now he's getting close first. So now you've gotten like the short end of the stick all the way through your first tournament or this situation. So what is it you do from that situation, right?
Yeah.
So as we said, it alternates. So the best thing you can really do in that situation is get the ref script to start again. So that's usually gonna mean you starting early. So if I get to a ref script and Alex is the one getting closed first, as soon as his fingers are coming down, I'm starting to flex my thumb. And I mean, I don't want to initiate that early yet. I'm just trying to get an advantage and see if I can bait him. That's the first step. So if I can push into him and he squeezes back hard, I have then two options. I can either, like, we're building up that pressure now and I'm making him feel like he's got to fight for his cup, or I'm gonna soften up and let him all of a sudden get some cup and he gets a foul, and we get the restart and I'm gonna get closed second. If neither of those things happen, so he builds up the pressure, he doesn't, I'm now getting closed, right? And now the pressure is built up and I don't feel like I have an advantage, he doesn't have an advantage. As soon as I feel, or just about before my fingers touch his hand, I'm hitting. And should be a foul. If you can time it by watching the ref and try to like time it perfectly where you hit early and the ref doesn't call it, you can gamble on that. But if you miss that, you might miss everything else, right? So I would just like commit to hitting early if you're going to hit early, and if you're getting closed second, you want to hit early unless you've got some other foul along the way to this point in the match, right?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, if you've already got a foul, then that's not a good option, because 2 fouls and you're out.
Yeah, and in a ref script, any movement is a foul. There's no warning in a ref script in tradition. Like if there's anywhere where they're calling a ref script, that's how it should be called. So you've only got this one chance to get the fingers to be closed the other way, right? So now, if your fingers are the ones getting closed first, what is it that you want to do? This comes back to what Alex said in the beginning about, like, if you're good enough in a match, you should be able to control the grip where you have enough, but your opponent doesn't feel fucked. He feels like, oh yeah, I'm good too. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, no, I'm not. So you kind of want to do that in this as well. They close your thumbs. As they close your hands, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to engage. I'm feeling like this top ridge of my hand. I'm trying to engage that part of my hand as much as possible without trying to squeeze and clamp down too hard. Because if I squeeze and clamp down, he's gonna react, right? And I'm now, I've dictated where the fight's gonna go, and I'm giving him an opportunity to react.
So you're essentially trying to make this position of your hand super rock solid.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And if I'm applying any pressure, it's not here, but it's like through this ridge into his thumb knuckle a little bit. You know what I mean? That's the only kind of pressure that I'm going to apply. And then as he gets closed, again, now this is where I'm going to be watching the ref, because I don't want to get a foul, because I got the advantage of being closed first. But I do want to hit hard as early as possible, because again, it's a game of millimeters, and whoever gets to hit first is going to have an advantage, regardless of who got closed first and all that other shit. Right?
Exactly. So a lot of manipulation in the ref script. We don't use it in our tournaments because it also makes the whole tournament longer.
Yep.
But you are going to face it in most WAF or provincial, national tournaments.
Yeah, and you should understand how it works, and you should practice with it enough that you understand like some of this manipulation. And the other thing with a ref script, which I think it's important in every tournament in any situation, but especially with a ref script, is really pay attention to the refs, because this is their moment in a way, so they're all going to do it their way.
Yeah. This is my grip.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll hear that all the time. This is my grip, not your grip, blah, blah, blah. And really, it's not your grip. It is the ref's grip, like there's a way this is supposed to be. It's not this ref's grip and that ref's grip and that ref's
Yes.
grip. It should all be one, but
Refs aren't
reality
robots.
is,
They all do it a little bit differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're not robots, so they do it differently.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I think I wasn't sure which one you said, but the point is they aren't and
Yeah.
they don't. So you got to watch them and kind of learn and figure that part out.
Yeah. So moving on to the set grip.
Yeah.
Set grip, like I said before, most arm wrestlers agree it's a bit more fair, a little bit less manipulation goes on, but there are still some tricks to the set grip.
And people who are really purists about the ref's grip tend to hate on the set grip because they think like they'll hate on it, but I've never heard a good argument of why they hate on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some matches in AAL that look a little bit sketchy in terms of how they were set up, like someone's got an advantage. That's really has nothing to do with the set grip. That's more to do with the reffing itself.
Yeah, exactly, and that will change from league to league.
Yeah.
But the set grip again. So let's stop saying that it is more fair or whatever, and start explaining why. The
Yeah.
first thing that we believe to why is the timing. It is you're getting the opportunity to close at the same time. If anything is, if you lag and like the ref says close your thumbs and you hesitate and wait, that's your fault. That's not like he didn't take advantage of you. The ref didn't put you in a shitty position. Nobody else's fault, but your fault.
Yeah.
So you're completely in control of a set grip, which is one of the things that I think we both like. Which leads us to our next sort of point, which is the real sort of basis first kind of thing to understand about a set grip is controlling the pressure. So majority of the time, and this is like 95% of the time in a set grip, unless both opponents really don't like load, there's going to be some load happening, right? Again, because the refs aren't controlling everything and their hands aren't right here, their hands are usually by your wrists, like this. There's more room for some sort of pressure, and like the ref can't feel when you do this, you know what I mean? Like just squeeze your fingers a little harder and everything. So this negotiation starts to happen between the pullers, which again is why I think a lot of arm wrestlers enjoy it and like it better. And as far as promoters go, it's a lot faster. So spectators, which if we want this sport to go anywhere, it's going to come down to people wanting to watch it.
Yeah, so
And
let's just go over the set grips just so everyone's clear on what we're talking
Yeah.
about. So the ref will have some control over the set grip. He's going to set the webbing and make sure that stays the same.
And the palms. So
And
you,
the palms.
you shouldn't be able to have your palm out, like the palm should be flat,
Yeah.
touching each other.
Yeah, so palms flat, webbings are equal. Then he's basically going to just hold on to the wrist to make sure nothing changes here, and he'll check for movement as well. Then he's going to say close your thumbs, close your hands, go.
Yeah.
And that's it. When he takes his hand off is usually when he says go.
And all he's looking for there are the two main things are the knuckles and the carve. So if it was close your thumbs, close your hands, and that one you clearly see me going like this and covering the knuckles, I should get a foul before the go, and or close your thumbs, close your hands, where I'm clearly carving in or carving up, or like he can see my wrist coming in. But it's not just gonna be like that isn't gonna get called, which you might not even be able to see that on the actual camera now, but like little movement like that will get called in a ref's grip. That won't get called in a set grip.
Because again, the ref's got his hand right here.
Yeah,
You
and
can feel it.
and with the set grip, it's more about getting the match started. And so unless one of you is like, no, unless there's like a big hurrah going or you're really giving it up, but it's a fight or flight moment. It makes you feel like you're like this is supposed to be a fight sport. So in that moment, you're just fighting for like, no, I'm trying to get it, and I just want what I want, right?
And you're gonna, if you don't have any load, you are gonna get thumped.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to at least match something. You have to put some load into the chamber.
The only way the no load will work is, again, like I said in the beginning, if we both don't want load. That's where you might see that.
Yeah.
But even in that, there's going to be this little gradual build of pressure. It's very almost never do you see a set grip where it's like, and somebody just gets blasted off the go, like unless somebody is just giving it up, or they're like, no, I don't have it, and they're like going like Hermes and Matt. That kind of was happening where Hermes just didn't understand the set grip at all, and Matt was just like owning everything in the build up of pressure, and it wasn't enough to call a foul.
Yeah.
And Hermes is so used to the set grip where that little bit of movement would have been like, you foul,
Yes. So
and that wasn't happening.
In the ref script, there's more time to load. So you get
Set grip.
No, in the ref script, there's more time to load.
Oh yeah, there's more time building up.
More time building up, so you get a chance to kind of feel everything going on from your hand to your body. In the set grip, as soon as the fingers close, you gotta expect that go. So you gotta have you gotta have that kinetic chain built up immediately,
Yeah.
so you can be ready for the go.
Yeah.
So you have to take some practice. You gotta be connected, and you gotta be prepared for that. And that's
Yeah.
why so many people don't do well in a set grip off the go, off the bat when they first try it.
So yeah, but then in a set grip, that pressure is built up so quickly that if you try to manipulate that second of pressure building up, you're probably just going to end up getting fucked. So you've got to just go with it and build pressure too, right? And I guess that's so the last thing that kind of brings us to with the set grip, which is similar to a ref grip. I think this is just similar in general, but I think it is really important in a set grip is to know the lane that you really want, because that pressure is going to build, and you've just got to be like, okay, I know I need these 3 things or these 2 things or this 1 thing, whatever it is. So as that pressure is building, you're just like, you start to really focus on that, especially if it's close in a competitive match, which is more what we're talking about. If you're in control, you're just going to be in control, fine. But if you're not, you're going to be like thinking about that 1 or 2 main thing that's important to you and trying to maintain that, right? Whether it's controlling the center, controlling back pressure, controlling height, whatever the part of the game is for you.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's just recap the 2 things: ref grip and set grip.
Yeah.
Ref grip, you want to be closed first. If you're not getting closed first, foul, do whatever it takes, make your opponent foul to get the match to start again, so you get closed first. And when you do get closed first, make sure you get that hand rock solid so you gain some advantage in that setup before the go.
And then recapping the set grip, again, there's going to be more likely of a pressure build, so the main thing is controlling that pressure to some extent, and then knowing your lane, knowing where you want to hit, and trying to maintain at least that part of your game, because in a set grip, the chances are you're more likely that you're going to get into a war. It's not going to be as likely that you're going to get an advantage off the go, because we believe it's a more fair grip, right?
All right, so all you guys who are competing, make sure you know whether it is a set grip or a ref grip and practice that.
Yep.
We hope you got some valuable information from this. If you did, leave us a like, comment, subscribe,
All those things.
and monkey out.
Peace.